Hello, and welcome to Mindshift Media, the podcast dedicated to exploring our inner worlds and transforming our perspectives for a richer, more fulfilling life. I'm your host, Theodore. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly felt good about yourself? Not just because you achieved something, landed a promotion, or got complimented, but just good. For simply being you. If you hesitated, or if that question even felt a little uncomfortable, you're absolutely not alone. In our fast-paced world, especially for young professionals navigating careers, relationships, and the constant pressure to be more, do more, achieve more, it's incredibly easy to become our own harshest critic. That little voice inside our head can be relentless, pointing out flaws, comparing us to others, replaying mistakes. We look in the mirror and see everything we aren't, instead of appreciating everything we are. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that sounds simple, but is profoundly transformative. Self-love and self-acceptance. It's a buzzword we hear often, but what does it really mean? How do we move beyond the concept and actually practice it? Especially when life feels demanding and our inner critic is loud. We'll explore why it's not selfish, why it's crucial for our mental health and overall well-being, and most importantly, how you can start cultivating it today, step by practical step. So grab a cup of tea, find a comfy spot, and let's embark on this journey together. Before we dive into the how, let's clear up some common misconceptions. When we talk about self-love, some people immediately think it means being arrogant, narcissistic, or selfish. Others worry it means becoming complacent. If I accept myself as I am, I won't strive to be better. Let's dismantle these myths. Firstly, self-love is not narcissism or arrogance. Narcissism involves an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy. Self-love, on the other hand, is rooted in self-respect, self-awareness, and kindness towards oneself. It's about valuing your own well-being and happiness, just as you would value a loved one's. It fosters empathy, both for yourself and others. Secondly, self-love is not selfishness. True selfishness means prioritizing your own desires at the expense of others, often disregarding their needs or feelings. Self-love actually equips you to be more present and generous with others. Think about the airplane safety rule. Put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you nurture yourself, you have more energy, patience, and emotional capacity to show up for the people and causes you care about. And thirdly, self-love is not complacency. Accepting yourself, flaws and all, doesn't mean giving up on growth. In fact, it's the opposite. When you approach yourself with kindness and acceptance, you create a safe internal space to acknowledge areas for improvement without harsh judgment. Think about it. Are you more likely to learn and grow when you're constantly berating yourself for mistakes, or when you can acknowledge a misstep with compassion and think, okay, that didn't work. What can I learn from this? Acceptance provides the fertile ground from which genuine, sustainable growth can sprout. It's about striving to be your best self from a place of love, not for a place of love. So, if self-love is so beneficial, why is it so hard for many of us? Why is that inner critic often the loudest voice in the room? Understanding the roots can be empowering. Often it starts early. Perhaps we had critical parents or teachers, or experienced situations where we felt we weren't good enough. These early messages can become deeply ingrained beliefs about our own worth. Then there's societal pressure. We're bombarded with images of perfection, the perfect body, the perfect career, the perfect relationship, the perfect life. Social media, while connecting us, often showcases curated highlight reels, making it easy to fall into the comparison trap. We see filtered versions of reality and measure our own messy, authentic lives against them, inevitably feeling like we fall short. Workplace culture, especially in competitive fields, can also fuel self-criticism. The pressure to perform, fear of failure, and imposter syndrome, that feeling that you're going to be found out as not being good enough, can be intense. We start believing our worth is tied solely to our productivity or achievements. Recognizing these influences doesn't excuse harsh self-talk, but it helps us understand why it's there. It's often a learned pattern, a defense mechanism, or a response to external pressures. And the good news is, learned patterns can be unlearned and replaced with healthier ones. The journey to self-love and acceptance begins with self-awareness. You can't love or accept something you don't truly know. This isn't about judgment, it's about observation. It's about tuning into your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without immediately labeling them as good or bad. How can you practice this? Start small. Mindful check-ins. Throughout your day, pause for just 60 seconds. Close your eyes if you can. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? What thoughts are running through my mind? Just notice. Don't try to change anything. Just observe, like watching clouds drift across the sky. Journaling. This is a powerful tool. You don't need to write pages and pages. Try these prompts. Today, I felt emotion when situation occurred. My inner critic was loud today when... Something I appreciated about myself today was... What am I needing right now? Writing things down can bring clarity and help you identify recurring patterns in your thoughts and feelings. Pay attention to your body. Our bodies hold so much wisdom. Notice physical sensations. Is your jaw clenched? Are your shoulders tense? Are you breathing shallowly? These are often clues to underlying stress or emotions. Gently acknowledge these sensations. Maybe take a few deep breaths. The goal here is simply to become a curious, compassionate observer of your own inner landscape. This awareness is the foundation upon which self-compassion and acceptance can be built. Once you start noticing your thoughts and feelings, the next crucial step is self-compassion. This is where the love part really comes in. Dr. Kristin Neff, a leading researcher in this field, defines self-compassion as treating yourself with the same kindness, concern, and support you'd naturally show to a good friend when they're suffering, failing, or feeling inadequate. Think about it. If your best friend came to you upset after making a mistake at work, what would you say? You probably wouldn't say, "Wow, you really messed that up. You're terrible at your job." Right? You'd likely offer comfort, perspective, and encouragement. "Hey, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. What can you learn from this? I'm here for you." Self-compassion is about turning that same kindness inward. It has three core components. 1. Self-kindness versus self-judgment. Actively choosing to be gentle and understanding with yourself rather than harshly critical. Acknowledging your pain or mistakes without berating yourself. 2. Common humanity versus isolation. Recognizing that suffering, failure, and imperfection are part of the shared human experience. You are not alone in your struggles. Everyone feels inadequate sometimes. Connecting with this shared humanity can reduce feelings of isolation. 3. Mindfulness versus over-identification. Observing your negative thoughts and emotions without exaggerating or getting swept away by them. It's acknowledging the pain without letting it consume your entire being. This links back to self-awareness. So, how do you practice this? Comforting touch. When feeling stressed or upset, try placing a hand over your heart or gently hugging yourself. This simple physical act can trigger the release of oxytocin, a calming hormone. Kind self-talk. Catch your inner critic in action. When you hear that harsh voice, pause. Ask yourself, what would I say to a friend in this situation? Then, try saying that kind phrase to yourself, even if it feels awkward at first. It's okay that this is hard. You're doing the best you can. It's understandable that you feel this way. Write a compassionate letter. Write a letter to yourself from the perspective of an unconditionally loving and compassionate friend, acknowledging your struggles and offering support. Self-compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about creating the emotional safety needed to take responsibility and learn from a place of strength, not fear. Building on self-awareness and self-compassion, we arrive at self-acceptance. This is about embracing all parts of yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your successes, your failures, your light, and your shadow. It's acknowledging reality without judgment. Acceptance doesn't necessarily mean liking everything about yourself or your situation. You might accept that you struggle with procrastination, for instance, without necessarily liking that trait. But acceptance means you stop fighting reality. You stop wasting energy wishing things were different or berating yourself for not being perfect. Perfection is an illusion. It's an impossible standard that sets us up for constant disappointment. Think of kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. The cracks aren't hidden, they're highlighted, seen as part of the object's history and beauty. Our flaws and mistakes are part of our story, part of what makes us uniquely human. How to cultivate acceptance. Challenge perfectionism. Notice when you're holding yourself to impossible standards. Ask, is this expectation realistic? Is it kind? Give yourself permission to be good enough, rather than demanding perfection. Reframe failures. Instead of viewing mistakes as proof of inadequacy, reframe them as learning opportunities. Ask, what did I learn from this experience? How can it help me grow? Acknowledge your strengths. Self-acceptance isn't just about the negative. Make a conscious effort to recognize and appreciate your positive qualities, talents, and achievements, no matter how small they seem. Keep a list. Practice gratitude for yourself. Be thankful for your body that carries you, your mind that learns, your heart that feels. Appreciate your resilience, your efforts, your unique perspective. Acceptance is liberating. It frees up energy previously spent on self-criticism and allows you to channel it towards growth, joy, and connection. It's saying, this is me right now, and that's okay. Okay, we've covered the mindset shifts, awareness, compassion, acceptance. Now, let's talk about concrete actions. Self-love isn't just a feeling, it's demonstrated through how you treat yourself daily. Here are some actionable habits you can start incorporating. 1. Set boundaries. This is huge. Learn to say no to requests or commitments that drain you or overextend you. Protecting your time and energy is a fundamental act of self-respect. It communicates to yourself and others that your needs matter. Start small if needed. Decline one extra task this week. 2. Prioritize physical well-being. This isn't about achieving a certain look. It's about caring for the vessel that carries you through life. Are you getting enough sleep? Moving your body in ways you enjoy? Nourishing yourself with food that makes you feel good? Even small steps, a 10-minute walk, choosing water over soda, going to bed 30 minutes earlier, make a difference. 3. Engage in activities. You enjoy? Make time for hobbies and passions, things you do just for the joy of it, not because you have to or because it looks good on a resume. Reading, painting, hiking, listening to music, playing a game, whatever fills your cup. Schedule it in like an important appointment. 4. Mindful consumption. Be mindful of the media you consume. Does scrolling through certain social media feeds leave you feeling inadequate or anxious? Unfollow accounts that trigger negative self-comparison. Curate your feed to be inspiring and uplifting. Be mindful of the news you consume too. Stay informed, but protect your peace. 5. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge and appreciate your efforts and accomplishments, no matter how minor they seem. Finished a difficult task? Handled a challenging conversation well? Stuck to a new habit for a few days? Give yourself credit. 6. Forgive yourself. Holding on to past mistakes keeps you stuck. Practice letting go. Acknowledge the mistake. Learn from it. Practice self-compassion and consciously choose to move forward. Choose one or two of these that resonate most and start there. Consistency over intensity is key. Small, sustainable acts of self-care build momentum and reinforce the message that you are worthy of kindness and attention. It's important to remember that practicing self-love and acceptance is exactly that, a practice. It's not a switch you flip and suddenly you're cured of self-doubt forever. It's an ongoing journey with ups and downs. There will be days when the inner critic is loud. There will be times you fall back into old patterns of comparison or harsh judgment. There will be moments when you don't feel very loving towards yourself at all. This is completely normal. It's part of the process. When these moments happen, the key is not to add another layer of criticism by beating yourself up for failing at self-love. Instead, bring that self-compassion back to the forefront. Acknowledge the struggle. Wow, I'm being really hard on myself right now. Offer yourself kindness. It's okay. This is difficult. Let me take a deep breath. Remember common humanity. Many people struggle with this. See setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to deepen your practice. Each time you catch yourself in negativity and consciously choose a kinder response, you are strengthening that self-compassion muscle. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Be patient and gentle with yourself, just as you would be with a plant you are nurturing. It needs consistent care, light and water, and it grows at its own pace. We've covered a lot today, moving from understanding what self-love isn't to exploring the roots of our inner critic and diving into the practical steps of cultivating self-awareness, self-compassion, acceptance, and actionable self-care habits. The core message is this: you are worthy of love and acceptance exactly as you are, right now. Not when you achieve the next goal, not when you fix all your flaws, but now. This isn't about ignoring areas for growth, but about approaching that growth from a foundation of kindness and respect for yourself. Practicing self-love isn't always easy, especially when we've spent years being hard on ourselves. But it is profoundly worth it. It's the key to unlocking deeper resilience, greater joy, more authentic connections, and a more peaceful inner world. So, my invitation to you this week is to choose just one small act of self-awareness or self-compassion. Maybe it's pausing to check in with your feelings, challenging one negative thought, or simply placing a hand on your heart when you feel stressed. Start small, be consistent, and be patient. Your authentic, self-accepting self is waiting to emerge. Thank you so much for joining me on Mindshift Media today. I hope this conversation has offered you some valuable insights and practical tools for your own journey. If you found this episode helpful, please consider liking it and subscribing to Mindshift Media so you don't miss future episodes where we explore more ways to cultivate mental well-being and personal growth. And if you want to be notified as soon as a new episode drops, make sure to hit that notification bell. We love hearing from you. Share your thoughts or biggest takeaway from this episode in the comments section below. What's one small step you'll take towards self-love this week? Until next time, be kind to yourself and keep shifting your perspective.